Good morning. On today's class, we're going to talk about the elements of art. On the elements of art, we find five things. We found the line, we found shape, we find color, we find tone, and we find a texture. So, on our today's lesson objective, by the end of this lesson, learners will be able to identify the difference between line, shape, tone, color, and texture in our artwork. Learners will be able to draw some simple artworks and include the elements of art we are going to talk about today. Today on the needed resources, we're going to need an A4 paper for drawing, a pencil, an eraser, rulers, color pencil, crayons, and some paintings. What is an art and where do we see the art in everyday life? In our daily basis, we see art everywhere. We see art on our clothes we wear, the food we eat, and sometimes on the places we visit. On the lines, we find five types of lines, or actually six types of lines. Firstly, we find a straight line, we find a curved line, we find a dotted line, we find the zigzag line, we find the thick and the thin lines. Under shapes, we find two types of shapes where we have the geometric shape, where it includes a circle, a square, and a triangle. Then we have an organic shape where there is a natural or a free form of shape. Then we follow by the tone. What is a tone? Tone refers on how the artwork looks like, whether the artwork is light or dark in color. Then we move to colors. On colors, we have two types of colors. Under two types of colors, we have the warm color and we have the cool colors. Under warm colors, we find three types of colors where we find the red, we find orange, and we find yellow. On the cool colors, we find blue, we find green, and we find purple. Then lastly, we have a texture. A texture refers on how the artwork feels. Sometimes the artwork can be rough and sometimes the artwork can be smooth. And that's all for today's lesson. Thank you so much. You enjoy.